Alright, welcome back everyone. You're watching the Gigabyte Pro League. I'm joined by Ghost User and this is our before last match. I'm not even sure you can say this in English. I know you can in French. But we have Snute versus MaNa. The winner plays against 4GG. Ghost User.
Uh-huh.
I thought you said MaNa was going to win.
Yeah, it appears I was mistaken. Snute looked pretty good last game. All his timings and everything looked good. He did the attack, which is good to keep the Phoenixes back. Took almost no damage from them. And then he went the quick Vipers, which was the correct choice too. I was surprised.
Yeah, every time I see Snute play, I always think he has like some of the sickest injects. But like, he doesn't just inject well the first 8 minutes. Like he also like fights, and then every time he engages, he knows how to give the priority to things. Like he will always try to get a clean concave or surround or flank, and then once he starts the fight, he goes back home and injects on all of his hatches simultaneously and like really quick. So I think he must have some sick mechanics because he does this really well, like better than other Zergs.
Yeah, he works on his builds a lot too, and like thinks about how he should play in situations and then just executes them really well. That's what I've noticed a lot. I've copied some of his builds in ZVZ and Wings of Liberty.
He's pretty manner
too. Yeah, he is.
Like I met him in ladder recently, and I got like pretty fortunate with everything in the game, so it kind of looked like I completely outplayed him. And then at the end, he was like very well played and no, amazing play. And then he said good game and he left. I think every single Zergs in the world would have been like flaming me or calling him balanced, but he was like amazing play, and then he said GG and left. I was pretty surprised. I even like some people saw the game because I was at the LAN tournament. Some people saw the game and they were like, "Oh yeah, nice sarcasm." So anyway, Snute going to go for the pull first here behind his mineral line. Nothing too... I don't think Snute is one of those guys who ever try to go for hatch first, or at least almost never. And MaNa, he's one of those Protosses who almost never goes for a very quick nexus with a pylon in the main and no scout. He almost always does this pylon at his expansion and then scouts. Then it seems that his new build these days is apparently a nexus first after doing the pylon at his expansion and scouting after it, which I don't particularly like it. I think it's okay, but not the best build. And the same thing as in the previous game happened. MaNa left his probe at the expansion of Snute. Snute does not even care. He's just going to take the third. He just wants to start his hatch as soon as possible, no matter where it is, so that he can start on injecting. He can start working his magic, basically.
Yeah, it's not that much worse to take the third. It's obviously a tiny bit worse because you're not going to be transferring the queen, so you start injecting it a bit later. But it's about the same as taking the natural first.
An interesting second pylon here by MaNa, you see? He's put it behind his mineral line, like in a corner.
Yeah, I think maybe for another hidden tech structure. Probably a Stargate again, do you think?
Considering how it went,
but
I don't think it would be very good, but...
well, no one posed for robotics back that far, so it would either be a Twilight or...
yeah, if you put a Twilight, yeah. I think Twilight is
could
a very
be
good
gateways
possibility.
too.
Yes, as well. And Snute2 not just going to be making drones. As a Zerg now, if you're in Snute's position, what's the standard at which you take your gases?
Usually you go 6 minutes. You take 2 gases. In Wings of Liberty, that was the complete standard. In HOTS, like there's a lot more variation. People are messing with quick link speed, but I think based on what we saw last game, I think he'll take 2 gases at 6 minutes, and then the gases after that are kind of varies a lot by player, and it's just mostly the 6 minute double gas standard, and then after that it doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's not supply wise; it's by the clock, at least for the gases.
You have like 40 something, about 40. You have between 40 and 46 based on whether you took your third or your natural.
And then what comes after that?
After that you go lair with the first 100 gas usually. Then you make link speed with the second 100 and a roach warren. And then you get like +1, either carapace or ranged attack with your next gas. And you've added another 2 gas by this point. And then you just use like speedlings to control the map, scout, and play like respond to what the protest does. And
all right.
I like a lot of what Snute does though. Like he spreads the creep from his third, like immediately at the start of the game. So
Yeah.
if timing attacks come, he's in a lot better spot to deal with it.
Yeah, Snute took his gases at around 6:15, I believe, just a little bit later. And MaNa is going for the Stargate again. I'm a little bit surprised by this. He's actually going to get a very quick Mothership Core in this game. So if he wants to, he can take a quick third. But remember, in the previous game, Snute hit a very big timing with lots of links and roaches against the Stargate play of his opponents. Which is pretty much what Stefano was one of the first players to do that, and he had great results with it. Remember when he was saying that he basically could not lose against Target openers?
Yeah, and it's pretty good against Target, and this map is even better than the last map, I think, because the wall-off here is a bit more open than on Cloud Kingdom, so you can do even better if you do the same thing.
Okay, one drone will be sniped here. Second Queen does come out. The Zealot will try to get away, but Zerglings are chasing on the Stalker. Mothership Core will rejoin this army, and behind this, MaNa is adding on a couple extra gates. He's still chrono boosting a couple Phoenixes. Lair is on the way for Snute. Roadrun about to finish as well. He's gonna add a couple extra gases. What's the standard time for the extra gases?
There isn't that much of a standard. It kind of depends what you're planning on doing. And Wings of Liberty, since you just went mostly Roach Ling, you'd stay on 4 gas unless you were going infestors, and then you just go up to 6 gas about now. And Hots, I'm not sure. You usually stay like 4 gases if you're staying Roach Ling, and then you add the other 2 if you're planning on teching. So I think we'll see him stay on Roaches and Lings for a little bit since he isn't taking any more gas.
Man, I thought Red was the king of drones, but look at Snute. We are not even at a nice minute. He's on 71 drones. He's even getting a couple more. That's pretty insane.
And now double Evo too. And I think we'll see Roach speed and just a 4th base and lots of Roaches and Lings.
And Snute is sending a couple Zerglings out on the map as well as a Roach towards the 4th base of MaNa. He's already taking a 4th. I think he's anticipating MaNa trying to take a 3rd here.
This is pretty good against Stargate though. I like the quick 4th against the Stargate because it forces the Protoss to do something about it. Because I feel like if MaNa takes a 3rd now, then it's not the best choice since Snute will just have a good economic advantage by the time his 3rd finishes.
Yeah, and MaNa has already made lots of probes here. It's very hard for him to all in from there. Like, I mean, he's not been building up a sentry count. He's not been doing anything to put pressure on. So that would be very hard for him to make something work. Considering Snute has been injecting so well, he's got his drone count up, and from there, no matter what, he's going to be making lots of units, almost exclusively. See, he's already making 20 Zerglings, speed about to finish, 1-1 on the way, and he's going to go for a Spire behind this. Do you think we might see some heavy Muta play?
Yeah, I think we are, because he hasn't got Roach speed either, so I think he's just planning on sticking on Ling Muta. And I think I've seen Snute do styles like this before. He's really good at it, and just killing the Protoss in the Ling Muta tech phase. And I think it's going to work incredibly well, considering MaNa is going Colossi at this point too. I don't think he'll be prepared for this at all.
And Snute not transferring. Okay, he's going to start transferring drones to his 4th base, start mining from those gases. He's getting an infestation pit and a Spire in the main. With neither of those has been scouted actually.
Maybe he'll go quick Hive.
Oh wow, I think he's going to be able to get a cancel on that Nexus, which is going to be huge. MaNa's just counter-attacking.
I don't like these counterattacks because they kill a base, but then Snute should be able to come back. And I mean, killing a base delays the mining, but he'll just restart it as soon as this attack is dealt with. And sure, he can mass recall, but Snute's tech will be in a good spot, and MaNa will have bad tech to deal with whatever Snute goes for, if it's Hive or Mutalisk, and no 3rd base either. So I don't think MaNa's in a good spot here.
Snute's decision perfect in this game. He just stacked the 4th immediately. He started lots of spines on his 3rd, knowing he would most likely need them against this huge army moving across the map and trying to hit him big time. But oh, I don't like the choice of sending many extra Zerglings to the 3rd base because he was already dead. He should have just kept those to defend, and right now Snute is losing a lot. Could MaNa make this work here? He's killing the queens, he's killing the spines. If he goes in a corner behind the mineral line here, he can just force field all around his army. It's just going to be so hard for Snute to deal with this. Couple Swarm Hosts coming out finally, but we have only 2 on the field. 3.
Yeah, I think Snute just made a bad choice, like you said, to leave the Lings at MaNa's 3rd once it was already dead. I think with all those Lings here, he could have held this without that much trouble.
Oh wow, MaNa wasted a couple force fields, and he's going to get surrounded here by lots of Zerglings. They do not get the best surface area onto those units, but they get enough to force a recall out of MaNa. In the meantime, everything died that was at the third of MaNa, the pylons, the gateways. So MaNa is going to find himself down on 4 gateways. He's going to add a second robotics.
Yeah, it'd be difficult for MaNa though, because now Snoot's transitioning into Mutalisk. I guess.
What, double Robo Colossus is perfect versus that, no?
Yeah. The only thing that's... I don't understand the Swarm Host though. I don't know why he made like 4 of them. That's kind of strange. Usually you either go like committed to like 10 Swarm Host, or at least, or you just go Mutalisk without Swarm Host.
Yeah, I think he just made those Swarm Hosts to make sure he didn't die. And now that he already has them, he was like, well, I guess I could move across the map and try to put some pressure on with them. MaNa might not have an observer, and he's right. MaNa does not have an observer. So that's going to be pretty annoying for some time. But MaNa is going to Chrono Boost out an observer.
Oh, he's going to cancel the turret again now.
Oh, wow. Those Phoenixes picked up some of the Swarm Hosts, and nice getting the cancel again on the third base. Snute is really on top of this series, I have to say, against MaNa. Oh, and he's hiding the Mutas for so long. That's so smart.
Yeah, he already has like 17 with 5 more coming out now. 17 or 18. He's going to have over 20 when he reveals them.
Do you think how many seconds MaNa is gonna stay into the game after seeing the Mutas, you think?
I think he'll stay for a minute or 2.
Really?
At least, yeah.
I say as soon as he sees the Mutas, he leaves.
I mean, I think the
if
game
they
is
fly into the main.
Yeah, I don't think he has much of a chance at this point of winning. But I think he might try to stay for a minute or 2. We'll see.
MaNa right now trying to move across the map, trying to make something happen. He's about to find out about the Mutas. He has a couple of Phoenixes. He's actually, I think he might choose to counterattack here. But I mean, realistically, what can he pump out of his buildings to really take on those Mutas? He's going to try to get a couple Stalkers, but those Mutas, they're going to crush everything on their way. They're going to fly into the main mineral line, start killing probes left and right. MaNa's counterattacking. Even this army is counterattacking with, I mean, does not look scary at all. Just a couple Stalkers, 3 Colossus, 1 Immortal.
Yeah, it's still way more than Snute has to defend. But I don't think he can win a base trade against that many Mutalisk, considering he has almost no anti-air in his main army. And
Snute, he does not want to waste any time killing MaNa's base when he already has nearly no economy, so he's just gonna fly back, not even sniping any of the Nexuses.
MaNa's right just gonna mass recall though.
Yeah, but I mean,
he still has no anti-air, so...
Yeah, he hasn't done enough damage. He cannot deal with those Mutas like ever. Look at the economy of Snute. It's pretty sick.
So good.
Oh, he might snipe the lair. No! Oh, the Mothership Core dies! Immediately!
Oh wow, that's probably game then, I think.
And
he
MaNa,
can't afford to lose this much.
Nobody can hear you if you scream in space. And well, only Colossus are left against all of those Mutas. There were so many Mutas, I can't even believe how many he got. He got like on 8 gases very quickly, but he was saving gas from the start basically. He made nearly no roaches. He made mass links, saved gas, went for very heavy Muta play. And MaNa, I mean, you were saying he was playing very good these days, but well, in these games it really didn't look like he never had a chance. He's gonna call GG, well played, good luck in the tournament, very mattered. I do know that MaNa likes Snute a lot for a fact. I remember at Home Story he was really cheering for him, and when Snute won, MaNa was telling us that we really need to make a good cheer and make lots of noise because he really deserved it, and I thought it was pretty cool.